So, good evening. Good evening. We are back again. Further free uploads today on the channel. So, thank you very much to everybody who has watched all of them. And if you haven't watched all of them, you can go and check them out. They're on the channel. Nabil Fekir back again. Every single 6-month transfer window opens. He is back, linked to Arsenal. And before that, we dropped a video about Coutinho. Again, another one who's been linked to Arsenal since he left Liverpool. And it's kind of crazy, really. We linked to some dead ballers, some deadbeats, some overhyped players that are on too much money. They'd fit in well at Arsenal, wouldn't they? And make sure, before I get into talking about Tyler Adams, who is actually not a deadbeat and actually a very good footballer, make sure you stick a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Road to 60k is on. And make sure you follow my Instagram, LeeGunner82. But Tyler Adams can play a magnitude of positions for Leipzig and has done. He can play right back. He can do that pretty well. He can play in the right of a 4 or a 5 as well. Very good footballer. He can also play right wing, which he has played quite a lot this season. He can also play defensive midfield, which he has done this season pretty well. And he can play attacking midfield. Dear, a jack of all trades, and he's not mastered any of them yet, but he is a very good footballer, and he is somebody that we are linked to, 23 years old. And the one thing I'll say about German League, I say it every time, for anyone who's not heard it, or the cheap seats at the back, I do get worried about signing players from Germany, because these players do look good over there, and a lot of them come here and don't really do it, do they? A lot of them just come in and it's like, they looking like a fish out of water, really. But the one thing I'll say with this guy is he does fill me with a bit of confidence that if we was to sign him, he would be a good Premier League footballer. He's very slight. That's the only downside to him. He is kind of skinny. He's a little bit like me. He's not a big, burly guy. He's a skinny ute, quite quick, and got a very good cross, very good in tackling. His tackling stats dwarf anyone in our team, by the way. I was looking through some of his statistics earlier. His tackling is better than any single Arsenal player. That's actually insane when you think about that, considering we're supposedly the third best defence. Well, we are the third best defence in the league. You'd think that we're putting a lot of tackles in. He actually tackled more times than any single Arsenal player last season. His ball retention's pretty decent. His forward passes are decent. All in all, he's a pretty all-rounded good footballer that can play in multiple positions. Similar to Callum Chambers, although he's not as tall as Callum Chambers. But I do like this lad. I do think he's a good player, and I do think he's somebody we should be looking at. We are looking at, and somebody that would come relatively cheap. It's not going to break the bank to sign him. He's not going to be demanding 200-300 grand a week. Probably not even going to be demanding 100 grand a week, if we're honest. And I think that, you know, Arsenal need more players like this. They need players that can play 2 or 3 positions. Yes, I want to see a player nail down a position, but once we do get injured players, which happens across every single team, across every single season, players will get injured. Excuse me. And I do want to see players that when there is an injury, you can say, right, you're coming in and you're playing left back today, or you're playing DM today because so-and-so and so-and-so are injured. And he can do that, and he can do it very well in Germany. Can he do it very well in the Premier League remains to be seen, but I do like him. I do think that, like I said, he's a very all-rounded player. And the fact that we're getting rid of Hector Bellerin, yes, finally, means that we are in need of a right back. Now, this guy doesn't necessarily just play right back, like I said. And last season, he only played right back twice. He didn't play right wing back at all last season. He played right wing most of it and DM. So he can play in a 4, he can play in a 5. He is very good in either. And he can actually defend, hence his tackling stats. Doesn't give away stupid free kicks and penalties. Doesn't chase shadows like Hector Bellerin. And, excuse me, and he can actually cross a ball as well, which is kind of what you're supposed to do down that right-hand side. Get up and down the wing and cross the ball in. And when you lose it, get back and defend and tackle the guy and win it back. It's not a hard game, is it, football? It's kind of simple. When you put it all together in simple layman terms, it is actually a very easy game. But this is where, I don't know what happened there, but this is where we have an issue, because we haven't got rid of Hector Bellerin yet. Bellerin's still at the football club. So we've been told we need to sell before we can spend, which means Bellerin needs to get his skates on, or his rollerblades, whatever you want to call it, and scoot on out of the town, because we need the money, mate. And if we're going to get a new right back, we need to sell him first. I think that's been pretty clear. I think the main target for us at the moment is midfielders. I think that's pretty evident. The fact we're linked to so many different types of midfielder, DMs, CMs, box to box, bit of everything. It's nice to see, number one, but at the same time, there isn't anything concrete happening. And again, and that is because Granit Xhaka hasn't left. You know, Granit Xhaka, excuse me, Granit Xhaka, apparently we've rejected a second bid from them. I'm not so sure. I think this deal's already done, by the way, and it's been reported multiple times by better sources than the ones that are saying the bid's been rejected, that the deal's getting done. It's in the final stages, etc., etc. Granit Xhaka, blah, blah, blah. So, listen, I'd rather believe what Fabrizio Romano's saying rather than what Tom, Dick and Harry are saying at the Sun newspaper. I'd imagine that Fabrizio's got better sources than the HP ones that they use at the Sun or the Mirror. So, yeah, until we get rid of some of these players, we're not actually going to sign anyone. So the quicker Granit Xhaka finalises that deal completely, the quicker Becky B gets out the football club, finally, maybe we'll start seeing a snowball effect from there. Obviously, the Euros is on as well, which does tend to slow things down a little bit, especially if the player is having a good tournament. Obviously, it has only just started, so which we'll see what happens with the rest of the tournament. But listen, at the end of the day, I just want some of these players gone, and I actually want to see us do some business this time around, because it has been boring over the last few years watching Arsenal, like really boring under Arteta. It's been absolutely crap. I'd rather watch paint dry. In fact, paint watches Arsenal dry. That's how bad it is. It's actually embarrassing. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get a new right back. Will it be Tyler Adams? You let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you rate him? Do you watch him a lot? And what would you do? Would you bring him in, or do you think we can go and get better than that? Obviously, Lamptey's another option, and so is Max Aarons. So keep all of that in the comment section down below. Stick a massive thumbs up on the video. I would appreciate that. Big up to everyone who does that every video. It is massively appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are a little over 2,000 away from 60,000, which is the whole capacity of the Emirates Stadium. Wouldn't that be mad if we could get 60,000 subs on this channel? By the end of the Euros, that would be nice. So keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep throwing the content around the social medias. I do appreciate it. Make sure you follow my Instagram as well, LeeGunner82. And all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'll be back again tomorrow with another 3 uploads. 3 a day. We're relentless. We ain't doing none of this Euros stuff. Let everyone else crack on with that. But we're out of here. And make sure you're Southgate out. And Arteta out.